this stage that the timing of that trip might have been intentional because something was going on back home they didn't want him to see. Well, what I'm about to tell you guys today is going to positively blow your mind.
She should have never become the CEO and chairman overnight, because now when people have questions, you gotta answer them, right? You're not just a grieving widow, but you very quickly decided that you were equipped to be Charlie. Well, guess what? That's gonna be a trial by fire.
Y'all, the moment that fresh batch of receipts hit Candace Owens' email, she knew she had to act fast and get Charlie's name trademarked if she wanted any shot at finding out the truth about his assassination. According to court records that have not been made public yet, this new evidence Candace discovered ties directly to TPUSA's upper management and the U.S. Army's involvement. But for some reason, Charlie's parents were not happy with this move. In fact, they felt so insulted that they allegedly dragged Candace to court for capitalizing off their son's death and trying to profit from it. So, now everyone's asking, what are Charlie's parents hiding, and who else benefits from keeping the truth in the dark?
Have the audacity to accuse me of enriching myself when they were out there selling t-shirts, okay, of what Charlie died in, to enrich themselves. Were they giving those t-shirts away for free at the Staples Centers? No, they were selling kit of what Charlie died in to the tune of $80 million plus that they made in the first 3 weeks.
But before we get into the trademark battle, we have to talk about the update that triggered Candace to act in the first place. In her recent live stream, Candace dropped a shocking new twist to the whole Charlie Kirk saga. According to her, she received a tip from one of her followers, who served in the military 35 years ago. By sheer coincidence, this follower just happened to be around a military base when he witnessed a high-stakes meeting among top military officials. Candace now believes that this meeting is where the plans for Charlie's assassination were finalized. But it's not so much what was said in the meeting that left Candace's jaw on the floor. It was who was there. Because according to her, the witness saw none other than Charlie's head of security, Brian Harpole, at this meeting.
You don't see this unless you're at the Pentagon or you're at the White House. You just don't see this many high up the food chain lieutenant colonels. He's going, man, this is a pretty important meeting. And then he sees 3 men walk out, one of which is the person he identifies as the person that's the center of the action, right? He said you can just tell this is the most important person. And he has gray hair, he's got glasses. I believe he said that he's about 5'10". And at this point, he sees that the person that is with him, and he said, certain that the person that is with him is Brian Harpole.
And get this, the moment they spotted him, they started grilling him, believing he was there as a spy. The reaction he got was so strong that he knew something was off. But it wasn't until he left that base and got home that he learned about Charlie Kirk's assassination. And that's when everything started to make sense. See, Candace knew she was going to get a lot of people angry by coming forward with this and trying to trademark Charlie's name. But after verifying the story this follower told her, she knew for a fact that there were people who would silence her, so the world never finds out the truth about Charlie's death. And that's what pushed her to act immediately, because suddenly, all the parts of the puzzle that didn't fit before were sliding into position effortlessly. See, Candace getting the news that Brian Harpole was in on the Charlie conspiracy was all the confirmation she needed that the people closest to him were the one who betrayed him. And that's what made her request to trademark Charlie's name all the more important. If y'all recall, Brian Harpole sat for an interview a few weeks ago where he shared some details surrounding Charlie's death and the investigation. But some of the things he said in that interview didn't add up at all. For example, he claimed that there was an autopsy done on Charlie, but in the same breath, he said that nobody can get access to said interview. The most anyone could do was get confirmation that the autopsy exists.
You know, there's been a lot of rumors going around about there was no autopsy, none of that. Was there an autopsy?
There was, and I can speak to that. Personally, I can speak to that. One, for those people saying that, do a FOIA. Do a FOIA to the medical examiner's office to Utah County. Get off your lazy ass and do a FOIA. They may not give you the autopsy information right now, but they'll certainly tell you, yeah, there's an autopsy. That's the first one.
And that raised red flags for multiple reasons. We all know how Charlie died. The gruesome clip has been reposted millions of times on social media. So, the only reason why the autopsy would be top secret was if it revealed something new. Something that could shatter the official story law enforcement wants everyone to believe about Charlie's death. For instance, there have been debates about the type of firearm that was used in the assassination.
Now, apparently, the narrative is that this is his grandfather's rifle from World War I and doesn't have a serial code.
Okay.
Interesting.
Okay. Why?
There have also been similar conversations surrounding the bullets themselves. Officials say Tyler Robinson etched his entire manifesto on them, but multiple experts have debunked that theory. It's just not possible. So that raises the question, who is that hidden autopsy protecting, and why does it have Brian Harpole's fingerprints all over it? But that's not all. In another interview, Harpole basically blamed the police for dropping the ball when it came to Charlie's security on the day of his assassination. He claimed that his team noticed some critical weak points in the university's surveillance and security measures. When he alerted local police, they promised to look into it, but they didn't. Harpole believed that this negligence cost Charlie his life, and on the surface, it sounds like what he's saying is the truth. However, when the news of his presence at that high-stakes meeting where Charlie's fate was sealed broke, people started looking at the situation differently. It now looked like Harpole was looking to shift the blame to someone else to protect the people who actually had something to do with Charlie's death. Now, here's what makes all of this hit harder. Candace has been on a one-woman crusade to find out the truth about Charlie's death. So when she found out about the secret meetings, the military link, the weird interrogations, she flipped. And the first person she attacked was Erica Kirk herself. Candace flat out accused TPUSA of putting their selfish interest ahead of Charlie getting justice, saying their decision to put Erica as CEO was a managerial error. According to her, Erica wasn't trying to fill the gap Charlie left. She wanted to be Charlie. And she believes that's the reason Erica didn't fight as hard as she should have to get the truth to come out.
She should have never become the CEO and chairman overnight. Because now, when people have questions, you gotta answer them, right? You're not just a grieving widow, but you very quickly decided that you were equipped to be Charlie. Well, guess what? That's gonna be a trial by fire. Charlie had to go through it, it's painful. And so people are feeling like, hey, it's not fair to ask her any questions because her husband just died. They should have put in place an interim CEO. Like, that's what any company would do. You would just say for a couple of months, give everybody time to grieve.
Rather than taking time off to grieve properly, Erica was hopping on and off planes, doing a grief tour no one asked for, and positioning herself as the new MAGA darling. She even launched a new book she claimed that Charlie wrote. TPUSA's top staff weren't any better. Within weeks, they shifted their focus from honoring Charlie's memory to pushing their right-wing agenda. For Candace, this just proved that she was the only one left fighting for Charlie. And that's why she decided that if she was going to continue this battle on her own, she had to at least safeguard the Charlie Kirk brand. But this is where everything snapped for Candace, because the pushback didn't come from trolls or TPUSA insiders, it came from Charlie's own parents. The same people she thought would cling to anyone willing to fight for their son suddenly moved like she was the problem. As you guys already know, they lost Charlie at the height of his influence, so Candace expected grief, anger, desperation, not this cold shutdown. But the moment they heard she was trying to trademark his name, something shifted. According to people close to them, they were hurt, furious, and convinced she was stepping into territory that wasn't hers. And instead of calling her, instead of asking why she did it, they went straight to legal. They're already pushing for a court order that would silence her completely. No more posts, no more theories, no more talking about Charlie at all. Even Erica, who had been quiet about Candace's rants all along, finally spoke up, and she did not hold back.
Whatever. But when you go after my family, my Turning Point USA family, my Charlie Kirk Show family, when you go after the people that I love, and you're making hundreds and thousands of dollars every single episode going after the people that I love because somehow they're in on this.
And once his family took that stance, the internet followed their lead instantly. Overnight, Candace went from the only one trying to keep Charlie's story alive to the woman using a dead man for clout. Influencers who used to praise her started freezing her out publicly, dropping little jabs, calling her unhinged, cruel, obsessed. It was the sort of coordinated distancing that let Candace know she was now completely alone. And then came the biggest twist. TPUSA daring Candace to put her money where her mouth is. In a recently issued statement, TPUSA called Candace out for attacking Charlie's closest friends and allies. They then invited her to a live stream where she would have the chance to confront them directly and ask all the questions she wanted to ask.
I could go on. There is always something new coming up, and none of it ever pans out, because from the start, there has been nothing there. The attacks and allegations from Candace are either lies or they are innuendos thrown around with a total reckless disregard for the truth.
But this invitation carried a deeper meaning. They were done letting Candace shape the narrative, and they were willing to do anything to stop her. And Candace, she got the message. She saw the invitation for the trap that it was and refused to let them drag her down that rabbit hole. However, this decision came with a cost, because now that everyone is turning against Candace, her credibility is in shambles, which now seems like it was the plan all along. Now the part nobody was ready for is what happens if Candace keeps pushing. Because after that TPUSA statement dropped, something shifted. shifted. People who were loud 2 weeks ago suddenly got real quiet. And the parents, the board, the security team, all of them. And the silence, it's starting to look intentional. So Candace is standing here with half the internet calling her delusional and the other half watching to see if she slips. Meanwhile, the people who actually know what went down are moving like they've already decided how this ends.